sit and just play some. Oh, they've got mics there.
We've got some magic there.
Is that? That's cool. That's both of us, isn't it? Yeah.
Get a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Wait, let's move out the way.
Oh no, really?
Oh.
Cool. So one more then.
Love it.
Cute.
Brilliant.
You got your water yet?
Yeah, all good.
I've not done this before, so I'm really going to roll.
You're fine.
Right. Turn up.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just going to sit there so if people want to
You're
watch it.
fine. You're fine. Should we share the link for everyone?
Yes.
Go on.
Oh, Millie, send the live stream link to Mum.
Let me. Once it's come through, I'll put it on the Dreamers chat if anyone wants to join in.
We just need the logo up on there, don't we?
Have you sent it?
Yeah, I sent. Yeah, by email.
Amazing.
That's cool, thank you.
Why is that not coming up? I can't find you all of us. It's always the way. You try and find.
Is that you just sent it on there?
Yeah.
Is there people on join already? Yeah. But yeah, at any point you can just tell us like 20 minutes before the end, so 11:40, so that we can see if anyone's got any questions.
Let me chat link.
You want it?
Yeah, can it be a bit higher?
Yeah.
Do you want for the microphone, yeah?
Yes, please.
With
Oh, nice.
thank you.
Well, not
It's good now?
Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. This is cool. Oh, I like the lights like
But we need to move this because we need to close
oh,
the
that's
door.
fine. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
All I'll do is I will move it over
Okay.
to like here. Is that cool?
Okay, and just to let you know, you have 25 minutes because at 11 we have another podcast coming.
I've booked
And-
it till 12.
Oh, is it
I booked
hour
this.
and a half, yeah?
Yeah, I booked this till 12.
Okay,
Yeah, that's cool.
so I'll just let you know, we'll just tap you before 5 minutes of podcast going to over, okay?
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Sweet.
This is different. I've not done this before.
Right.
Have some water.
Yeah.
At any point, if there's anything like in particular that you want to chat about, we'll just.
No, it's whatever. This is your radio. You ask whatever you. I don't even know what questions some of my audience have put forward. So
A lot about like how to structure a pitch, how to stand out, stuff like that.
yeah, I
Answer
think there's
questions like that.
yeah. Any questions like that? I think with those type of questions as well, you find that it's very subjective as well when it comes to pitching, because it's like I have like a format that I follow for when I train people to basically pitch, but at the same time it's one of those where it's just let me put that on. It's one of those where it's very selective, but I always say to most people, it's like, what's your need? Like 9 out of 10 people don't know what they need, and it gives that sort of frame. I'm just going to tag you in this, so that this is
Perfect,
up
thank you.
on.
So yeah, so I've got questions like a bit about yourself, about Simon Squibb, how he's helped you,
Cool.
a little bit about travelling, the van, a bit about like you're still travelling and you're selling the van.
Yeah, that's a looming question. Yeah.
A bit about risks in business, mistakes, supporting people, what inspires you, stuff like that. It's the
Love
most
it.
main vibe really. I'm very chill there.
Love it.
So I can look at that camera.
Look at that camera there.
Well, I don't even have a specific intro. So
That'll come with time. Like I was speaking to Mac Twins about this, and they had a really great way of sort of doing it. It's just like just be yourself. It took you 7 months to find their flow,
yeah.
and once they got into a flow of what they were talking about, it was. No. I thought we would have photo anyway. Just like when they got into a flow of talking what they were talking about. I'm James, I'm John, we clean places nobody else will clean. Came after an evolution of multiple takes, but it took them 7 months to find their thing. And I think when you're doing podcasts, or if this is the thing, like whatever you decide to double down as your focus,
Mm.
you'll find that whatever approach that looks for you, it will come with time. It sort of like naturally evolves. Like one thing might work one year, and then the next year it might be something else that works for you.
It's all different.
But yeah, I think we're
That's
going.
cool.
Not yet. We're not good. You're fine.
Let's see.
This is so cool. Look, in an environment like this, this is super cool.
Oh, I've never been to this.
Let me show it with the team as well.
It's really cool.
You can see everything. Okay, right.
Oh, look at that. I've honestly never done a podcast. I did a I had a show on Monday with Callum Harris. He's a plant-based cook, and we did it in a kitchen. But I've never been like.
You should just like watching your face. Hi.
There we go. Sent it. Sorry.
This is
Just
really
like-
good.
This is super cool. Like, wow, what a little spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very happy.
Perfect. It's like, where do you look? It's just like, I'm going to be there.
It looks
You're there.
It's so businessy.
Yeah. On screen.
Welcome to my Welcome to my next episode of Unscripted. I am here with Rich Hayes.
Hi everyone, how are we
Welcome.
doing?
Hi Rich.
How are
Thank
you?
you so much for coming. How are you? Doing good?
Yeah, good.
Is your travel alright?
Yeah, it's been one hell of a journey the last year. I've really enjoyed it. I'm grateful to be here and thank you for taking the time to
Oh, of
talk
course.
through it.
Super honoured to have you on. So Rich, while you're here, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're trying to achieve and what you're passionate about.
So I said I'm Rich. I was the guy that teamed up with Simon Scribb and travelled the UK last year in a Dream Machine, or Dream Van as it's known, and the mission of the Dream Van was essentially to reach people that were unheard, essentially the people around the country that were coming to the van and had an idea, had something they were working on, and basically create a space for people to essentially just talk quite openly. It sounds bizarre, but getting people to come to a van and have a conversation with me or my partner and just talk about what they were going through at the time in their business. And the idea came from essentially a conversation that I'd had with a friend actually at the time when I was looking through Simon's comment sections. And I was like, oh my god, there's all these places and all these people that are saying, when are you in Manchester? When are you in Edinburgh? When are you in Bristol? And I sat there and was like, hang on a minute, there's something here. I didn't really know what it was, and then the penny dropped, and I was like, hang on a minute, I've got this van that's this rusty old thing, and I could travel around the UK and basically go meet all these people for him and help service them. I had no idea how I was going to do it.
Yeah.
I just pitched the idea to what was it called? It was it was essentially like a virtual doorbell.
Okay.
For an event back in December 2023, and Simon put on an event at Box Park with a couple of big names, and I pitched the idea. I didn't really hear anything from it, and then about a month later I actually pitched to Simon to be a community manager for Helpbank and the Simon Scribb ecosystem. And fast forwards, I remember getting a message from him saying, oh, I watched your pitch, we'd love to make it happen. And it's a really crazy little story, to be honest. But yeah, it's been an amazing year. There's so much to it. It just depends where you want to talk about it and go.
No, that's incredible. Did you, with Simon, did he surprise you with the van? I feel like I saw, you had the van, but did he wrap it for you?
Yeah.
Is that the surprise?
Yeah. So the surprise was there was a lot of behind the scenes work that a 60-second clip can only tell so much.
Yeah,
And I very much believe in a photo paints 1,000 words. And with the van specifically, I didn't know what the van looked like. I knew it was being done. I had no idea what had been designed. I went into it completely blind. I had no idea what conversation we were going to have. And the way it came across on camera was it just, how did you wrap a van in 2 hours? There was so much behind the scenes that happened.
That was a lot of work.
Yeah, and we had a full electrical rebuild from a company called Dynamo Solar. Cube Branding did the vinyl wrap, and I can't remember who else was involved. There was 3M supplied it for free, the actual vinyl itself, and then we had a company up in Birmingham where the van is now called Overflow Paints, who are doing a full respray of the whole van now at the moment. So it was was quite a lot of behind the scenes, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was a complete surprise. I had no idea what was going into it.
Wow.
I came out of it and I was like, wow, okay, that was it completely. I would think that whole day was just a fever dream. It was.
Yeah.
I was completely in shell shock about the whole experience. So yeah,
So exciting.
yeah.
Was that the first time you met Simon in person?
No, so I'd known Simon for about 4 years at
I
this
see.
point. I'd known him through LinkedIn,
Okay.
and I'd met him twice previously at the time. From memory, yeah. So I met him in July 2024 at an event at the Twickenham Doorbell. That's where we filmed What's Your Dream. And what a lot of people don't know about that story is that I was actually terrified of taking my foot off the clutch at the time. I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna happen. And then it's like, oh, what's your dream? What are you gonna do? It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then we filmed it, and then we were trying to get it moving, but it was such a big project for the Simon Squib ecosystem
Yes.
that it was trying to find the best way to actually make it all work.
Mm.
And so yeah, it was a big project. It took a lot of time to sort of execute on quite a few things to make it happen. But yeah, it was one hell of a journey, and I really, it's brought us here today, right?
Yeah.
So,
On the van there was Simon's book, What's Your Dream? Go and buy it on Amazon. And
Yeah.
on other places. W.H. Smith's.
yeah, W.H. Smith's, Asda. I can't remember all the places now. I should know all of them. You can buy at our events as well.
Link in description to buy What's Your Dream. But how did you, was it sponsored by Simon, or did you have any sponsors on the van, or was there anything that's helping you travel
Yeah,
all
so
around the UK?
Yeah, so we had Simon was Help Bank specifically was the main sponsor. The wild story of how Richard Branson and Virgin Startup got involved slightly further down the line, about 8 weeks into the tour. So originally it was meant to be there was a number of sponsors. So it was Dynamo Solar, Cube Branding, and 3M. They were our main three, and they contributed. It wasn't necessarily like a paid sponsor per se, but they gave quite a lot to the project with no expectation, and we did a lot of behind the scenes work with them, but to try and make that happen. There was a lot of behind the scenes work to actually get that all to happen as well, and there was the views is one point, but also it's just trying to give as much value to what these brands were looking for as well. And we took it around the country. I think we did 10,000 miles, so it was like the physical exposure of locations that we were at that really helped. And I used to talk about them all the time at locations. If people said, oh, how did you get these people involved? And I reached out, just had a conversation. I think a lot of people overthink brand outreach sometimes. It's just ask the question, you're either going to get a yes or a no. And I think a lot of people when you're doing that. And then obviously Simon was the big sponsor for the so we had What's Your Dream on the side. We just launched the hardback in the January, and so it was all quite fitting. And then his wife Helen, behind the scenes, designed the whole van. A lot of people don't know that as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I found that later that it was Helen designed the van, and I never got to thank her personally until Ideas Fest, because I hadn't seen her, and I said I just wanted to say thank you for all the work you did, because it was a huge project.
It looked amazing.
Yeah, I missed the rainbow van, as we called it. It's something, I don't know, there's a saying from Mr. Beast, it's like, if you see a cow go down the road, you're not going to look twice at it. If you see a purple cow down the road, you're going to look at this purple cow, right?
Yeah.
And the van was just this bright thing that just your eyes drew to it. It just, what's that? And I think it was the colourful sort of pop that it had to it that allowed people to really go.
And the yellow book really stands out as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's like, but yellow is quite a warming colour anyway. A lot of people, it grabs your attention. I don't think like in GCSE, it sounds really random, but you used to learn about the colours and what they all meant, and I was like
joy is yellow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I remember I was going through that. I was like, oh my god, yeah. Like when I look at it now, it's like you see it all the time. It's like every store you go, every bookstore, or you just walk into a Waterstones. It's normally the first book that you sort of, well, obviously we
like, oh, it's Simon's book. But
yeah.
That is cool.
But yeah, no, it's been an amazing journey. So like that first part of the tour was awesome. So much cool things happened on it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, just trying to tell them all the stories. It's like, how do you condense the stories into one
How
film?
long were you travelling for with the van?
Yeah, so we started in the April and it went through till about November. So it did the full hurdle. We did 30 free stops. Of those 30 free stops, it was a mix around the country. Some places we just couldn't get to. I think we massively overestimated what we could achieve in such a short period of time with managed breaks as well. Like we had to take time back at certain points.
Yeah.
I think we forgot just how much load it was to actually just keep dotting around the country all the time. It was
Van life.
Yeah, van life. It's
Yes. It was tiring as well.
yeah. There was moments where there was days where it was just a lot. There was a lot to do. There was always trying to plan that next location. I think the hardest part to anyone who, if you're a street vendor or you're a mobile trader who literally just travels around the UK and just pops up at random locations, pop-up culture is so difficult. It's not something you can just turn up and leave your van and hope it works. No. Like it's
No.
no. Yeah, it was so like, and we found out like from Brighton Council. So when we were really early in the tour, we ended up going to the I360 Brighton, and a shout out to Sarah Willingham for making that happen. And this was like day 4 of the tour, so we're like prime Brighton location, like probably the most well-known location in Brighton as of now. Not just the tower, but it really is an amazing spot.
Okay.
When we were there, we had 2 council officers come down, and they were telling us about they said they were just telling because she owns the whole area. So it's basically like a 100-year lease that she owns, and there was this one place that if we were on that bit of land, it would have cost us £20,000.
Oh my god.
Just if we were caught on it, didn't matter what we were doing, £20,000. That would ruin anyone.
Yeah.
Like if you're a small business,
Yeah.
just done. So yeah. But yeah.
You weren't on that part, were you?
No,
Oh,
we
yes,
come
I
close.
was.
We came close a few times. Like there was a moment where I remember getting into a discussion with a traffic officer about where we were, and I was just like, this is not worth. I just said, you know what, just start the car.
It's
Just
not
start.
worth it,
It's just not worth it. It's just not worth your peace.
No.
So yeah, there was a few moments where we were like, oh god. But as the tour went on, it got easier because obviously we'd learned the mistakes earlier on of like, okay, don't do this, do that. So yeah, it worked out all right in the end.
It's good. What were some of your favourite moments from the Dream Machine?
Oh, there's so many.
So many to choose
In terms of people or or just experiences,
People, events.
there are a few that really stand out to me, like especially earlier on. Sort of there's the heart-wrenching ones, and there's the ones that were just became flourish stories. There's one woman called Rachel, and I wish we could find her. We still haven't. We put a video out for her.
Oh, maybe she'll see this.
Yeah, Rachel or the daughter. Anyone, if you're in Torquay and your name is Rachel, and you came to the Dream Machine in April at Pierpoint in Torquay, please reach out because we'd love to have a chat with you. But the story of Rachel, very very quickly, she had this genetic condition, I believe, and it basically lost her eyesight. And the way she found out she lost her eyesight, she could see, but she couldn't see much. And about 6 months earlier, prior to us meeting her, her husband just said, she had a wobble at home, and the husband said to her, just go to the hospital and get checked. She walked into the hospital and out of the hospital legally blind. Lost her license, lost everything. That was it. And the beauty of her story was the only reason she knew we were there is because she could see pigments of yellow. And obviously the van was bright yellow, so she knew where we were. And she had a guide dog with her, and she came to the van, and she was a hairdresser, and obviously she couldn't cut hair anymore. And it was such a moment of like, she was telling us her story, and she could see her getting emotional, like she just wanted to work.
Yeah.
And she was in this constant battle with trying to, with disability benefits, and what was more surprising is her husband was a counsellor. And even a bit when you're in the system of trying to help people and help local communities, they couldn't do enough to essentially survive. I had 4 kids at home, most of which are starting to get older, where they're starting to leave home. And I sat there and I was like, oh my god, like, can we try and help this person? I believe we've got a Louise from Go Henry ended up doing a reaction video for her. But from memory, we never created that connection, that conversation. But she got really emotional about it. She just wanted to work, and even losing your eyesight, that shouldn't stop you from being able to just be. Yeah, so it's quite a hard. That was really early on in the tour, but like that day we left feeling like we had an impact on people's life. Later that day, that day was probably one of the crazier days of the tour because it was just the opportunities that came off of it. One guy actually who pitched there got a reaction video from Daniel Priestley. He got access to Daniel Priestley's accelerator course, which is about £10,000. And I just told him to bring. He went to this event earlier in the day, and he had this flamingo like thing on. It was like an inflatable flamingo, and he pitched with the inflatable flamingo. And then Simon and Daniel did a reaction video to it, and they gave access to the accelerator. Really,
it's like the Purple Cow moment.
Yeah.
You remember the flamingo.
You remember the flamingo, and so that was one thing that happened. And then where we were on the pier, there was a hotel above, and there was this couple watching from the top of the pier, and they were essentially looking down at the van. Like, what's going on down there? And they were watching people like go back and forth to the van, but they were like, they could see their thought process in real time. So it was like they were sat there and they're like, oh, you know what, thinking about it, and then not. And you could almost see like the real time objection in their brain, like going at full speed. And they were like, oh, okay, now think about it. And then you watch them come over, and to the point that they actually came down from the hotel and came to speak to us and said, oh, excuse me, what's going on here? And it's like, oh, Kirsty, my partner, explaining what was going on because I was with someone at the time. And they were so compelled by what was happening that they just bought a load of books just there and then. It's like we want to just give these out to people just as we love what you're doing. Really random. They had no idea who Simon was, and it was just that one moment of just watching this happen.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. So and there's other things like more recently, I suppose, like with the Virgin collaboration. We were in. There's a few people that stand out: Manchester, Wrexham, and Birmingham. But there was 3 people from those locations that went on to Ideas Fest to basically pitch to the panel at Ideas Fest. Were you at Ideas Fest last year?
No, I wasn't.
I'll get you there this year.
Okay.
We'll make
I will
that
come
We'll
this year.
make that happen. Don't worry. You're coming, so don't worry.
Okay, I'm coming.
There you go. Come to Ideas
You're
Fest.
just coming.
But at Ideas Fest we had a panel with Simon, Daniel Priestley, Nick Pritchard, and Amelia Sordo. On that panel, 3 of the people who went on stage, either with the panel or just with Simon, all pitched at the back at different intervals. So there was Tori, who runs a brand called Bootskins, which is essentially like a football boot it's like a skin that goes over your football boot, and it protects the lifespan of the boot. It not only protects the boot, keeps your feet warm, it expands the lifespan of the boot by about 1.5 years. And she's just created this incredible opportunity, and all she was doing it was because her son plays in grassroots football, and it was so beautiful about what he was talking about was his son was like, oh, my feet are always wet, I want something that's going to work. So she built it out of a need for her son, and then all his team wear them. And she's just built it in Birmingham. She's built all the local connections and sourcing, and she just needs opportunity. She's had conversations with brands like I'm bigging her up here, but Real Madrid, Chelsea, Benfica, some of the biggest football teams in the world. So she's having these conversations, but it's just that in. So if anyone in this world knows anyone who can help get her some pre-orders for that, then that's one thing.
Get in touch with us and we will sort it out.
Yeah, Tori, if we can help Bootskins, that's one I've been really plugging away at. Or if we can get them to the Sidemen charity match. Imagine having these skins on the Sidemen boots.
That would be amazing.
It'd be so cool. So that's one thing we're working on. Then there was Gaynor, who runs she runs a children's brand. It's almost like Crocs, but she basically has a patent for the gliding mechanism on the boot, and it basically it fits to the child's foot. So it's designed in a very specific way that means that you don't have to buy a new shoe necessarily. they grow into it,
Oh,
but the sliding mechanism is completely adjustable and lockable.
that is so smart.
yeah.
That's such a smart product.
And I remember meeting her in Manchester, and I was like, oh my god, this is revolutionary. And what a lot of people don't know is that she went on Dragon's Den a year earlier.
Okay.
She pitched, she got an initial conversation with, she got a yes, with a floated, I think it was a 200k investment. That was the plan. But what a lot of people don't see is the after, you know, is this like 1 in 10 of people who go on Dragon's Den get an investment, and she was one of those 9 out of 10 that it fell through. But there's multiple reasons why. But like she knows what she's doing. She's been there, and now they're going to launch this year. So, but again, just the exposure of going on Ideas Fest and you know seeing people having conversations, it was such a powerful moment for her to give her the momentum and boost. And then another one who was on the Ideas Fest panel was Kate, she runs a brand called Free Eater, which is a dietary restriction app. And what her app does is essentially for a personal need that she had from her dad. She remembered calling up for graduation, and she called 15 restaurants in her local area to where she was graduating, and not a single one of them could cater to her dietary restrictions or her dad's dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
So she built this app for dietary needs essentially. So it's almost like the Uber Eats of dietary requirements.
Yeah. That is really cool.
Yeah.
All these brands, the good businesses and brands are always ones that are built off of a need.
Yeah.
So like the shoes, maybe like buying loads of pairs of shoes, or for the football boot to protect it. And they're all for a need, and that's why they do well, because other people are like, that's really handy, that's something I could use, and I have this problem.
Yeah.
It has to be solving a problem. You know?
I think that comes into the point we were going to speak about, which was like when you talk about what the problem is, like when it genuinely solves the problem, it's not about, you don't have to force a sale or like force a conversation. You either believe in it or you don't. It's you either take it or you leave it. It's if you don't, but if you think, oh, this is impressive, I guarantee you would tell someone. And that's I think that's one tool that's really underrated is word of mouth. Like it's the most powerful tool. People say it all the time, but I think I've seen it so much in person. Like the conversations that happen, it's infectious when it happens. But yeah, no. So there are 3 examples, well, multiple examples. But yeah, there's so many other ones that come from the tour. I think that the big thing for us was just trying to create the space for people to have conversations. I'm thinking of more now, but we could literally spend hours just talking about the people we met on the road. But yeah, but it was, what I didn't realise at the time was the long-term impact that it would have on people. Like, you know, we've got one guy who pitched in Taunton, just it's a very quick example, had a mega reaction clip, as we call them, from Simon, Roy Samuel, John Caldwell, Piers Linney, and Rory Sutherland. So like five mega entrepreneurs.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to say this yet, but two of the entrepreneurs have both reached out to them because they're avid bike users, one of which owns a bike brand, and they've asked him to design a helmet specialised to their requirements. All from just coming to a van at we were at this, it was called Sheppey Cider in Taunton. Literally it was a cider farm with it's really well known in Taunton apparently, and he just knew the van was there. He turned up, pitched, we left with no expectation. Just, it was just this thing. And then Taunton was like June, July last year. So you fast forward the journey, like, you know, and we get these reactor clips going, and we get people talking. We find that stuff starts to happen. It's just to bring it all together. It's like the glue. Once you bring the glue together, and then stuff starts to happen. Yeah. That's where the really exciting stuff starts.
Do you ever have people or dreamers come up to the van and like they're scared to actually press the doorbell, and like you've had to motivate more, encourage them?
Absolutely. So I learned this earlier on in the tour, that when you're talking to, what you need to do with people is validate where they're at, and have just an honest conversation with them. And I think places like Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, there's a lot of coaching that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know about. And essentially what I do with people is I give them the floor to explain where their idea is at, and then I work back their idea or their business from where into a 60-second pitch. Yeah. I've had people completely terrified who are like, I've had people cry on me. I remember one woman in Brighton, beautiful brand. This person knows who they are, and I had them reach out to me, and they were so passionate about what they were building, but she was still dealing with the previous sort of experience from her last company, where it was quite hard. She had quite a hard time there, and she had a really stressful job, and it basically pushed her to the point of basically an anxious breakdown. And then she built this brand out of the pain of that happening. It's a clothing brand based in Brighton. But we worked the problem, and then since then she's had an interview with Helpbank, and she's had a clip out on, and she's starting to get more momentum from.
That's so good.
That was Brighton was July last year, so it's the progression. People forget that. I think with the doorbell, the doorbell is not the end of your journey. It is a step in your entrepreneurial journey, and I think that's what I've been trying to get across to people the most. People saying, "Oh, where's the content? When's this happening? When's that happening?" Totally fine. There's a lot. We had 2,500 people pitch.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like, what if something wasn't to happen? Like, or if it's not the doorbell, it's even with Dragon's Den and Shark Tank and stuff like that. There are so many clips that do not see the light of day. Like in post production, like it's brutal. But we are trying to get every pitch on platform this quarter. To make sure that we're getting people seen and given the exposure, and getting people in the community to help these people. I argue the best thing for people to do is document the experience of coming to the doorbell. Document it and post it. Tag Simon, tag Helpbank, tag any entrepreneur you want to work with, tag them in that video, because that, I would argue, is infinitely more powerful, because it's showing your action steps that you're documenting your personal journey.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who have gone on and done that, who have done millions of views just by documenting that they went to the doorbell. So use that as an opportunity to push you forward, not just press it and then wait. Because I was one of those people that waited, and I wish I'd just done the thing that to make it happen. You just got to go and do it.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't understand what we're talking about with the doorbell, just explain where the video goes and how that.
Yeah, sure.
Explain Helpbank a little bit.
Sure. So the Doorbell of Dreams is essentially the concept in full. It's like imagine it like a micro version of Dragon's Den. We pitch to it, and what we do is we take the clips and we review them, and we see if we can build them into what we call hero stories. There are there's so many clips, but the ones that do the best, so to speak, and with the need is the clearest. Imagine it like Make-A-Wish. So my dream is to work with Richard Branson and travel the UK and help people with their businesses. Okay, that's great. You've called out someone specifically.
Yeah.
You've given that sort of specific need of, I want this thing to happen. I want to actualise that. Or I want to be at Ideas Fest this year and have a trade stand. And I know that you guys have a network with the founders of Ideas Fest. Can you help make it happen?
Yeah.
We probably could. Like we could take that person and make that introduction. So we are almost a place for super connection. And Helpbank exists as a platform for community, but more importantly, it exists as an ecosystem to give people opportunity. And so we post all the pitches on platform. We take those, and that's in the section on the Helpbank platform called Doorbell of Dreams.
Okay.
We post every clip there. We then also take the clips from there, and we review them to see if we can introduce them to our network. So we have brands that support us, and we have brands that we reach out to see if they can help with these dreams. So we're actively going out. So although stuff doesn't necessarily happen, like you pitched a week ago and then something happens a week later, these conversations take time. And I think with the entrepreneurial journey, it's about trying to make those introductions, and sometimes they're quick, sometimes they're slow. I argue that sometimes the longer it takes is also sometimes the most exciting stuff comes out of it. And so I know those conversations get posted on the Helpbank platform, they get posted on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but it gets posted on all 6 platforms we will operate across. And then sometimes, depending if it leans into the Simon ecosystem, as I call it, so Simon's main channel or the real Simon Squibb channel, or the Watch Your Dream channel. There's so many.
There's so many channels.
Yeah, and then you've got 19 languages that everything's in. I think it's more than 19 now. We're just about to launch in France as well. So, book in France. We launched in Korea. If you add up all these, people actually forget how big the network
Big
is.
the scale is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, but if you want to work, if you've got a dream and you want to have a brand that's present in South Korea, the Doorbell of Dreams clips in South Korea they love watching them. Most of the videos do 80,000 views,
Wow.
just from pressing a doorbell.
That's crazy.
Mental, really, really, really cool. And we just translate it into Korean. I believe we have an international editor for that as well. And they sit there and the clips do really well. It's really random. Honestly, the scope and breadth of what we do is massive. I think I sometimes don't always see. There's so many moving parts all the time. We don't always see what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's in a really roundabout way how the Doorbell of Dreams works. You take the pitch, put it on the platform. We can see if the community can help you, and if they can, amazing. If they can't, it's okay. In the meantime, we take some of those clips and we see if we can build those into mega stories or mega reactions with entrepreneurs. Where I was talking about the 5 entrepreneurs that we send the same clip to the same 5 entrepreneurs. We also, one of our super connectors, Roy Samuel from Connected, he tries to see if we can take that conversation and introduce it to his network. And he is a super connector. And we've had people who have gone on track days with professional athletes.
Yeah.
We've had people get into a political podcast host that wanted to interview politicians. So we actually took him to the House of Lords and introduced him to a load of lords.
It's so exciting.
Madness, like some of the stuff. So just from pressing a doorbell, that's the sort of stuff that happens.
Did you say there was a doorbell in Twickenham?
Yeah, there's a doorbell in Twickenham, there's a doorbell in Dubai, and then we have our mobile doorbell, which is like our event doorbell. So that's like a mobile. So it's essentially the van, but in a warmer environment.
Okay.
So it's like in the sense of we don't freeze outside the van. So we take it to a location and we sit there for the day. We have a booth now, so we have like it's almost like the way it looks like it's like almost like it looks like a changing room, but it's completely soundproof booth. And it's on an iPad now. The only one that's not is Twickenham. But you go there, you press you press it, you fill out your details, and then we review it, and then it goes to the production team, and then we see if we can build it into some form of story. But I think that's the beauty of it. You don't know what's going to come off it.
Yeah.
I think that's what people should take as an excitement. It's like
it's the excitement and the risk with it as well.
Yeah, and I think people don't realise that when you scan the QR codes, like there's a list of support as well. Like there's on the platform we have community calls that we run every week. We have people in the community like who are ex-founders who have then come onto the platform to offer advice and support on how to build businesses. That's the sort of that's what I try to say to people. It's not the end destination.
Yeah.
Then go and use the resources that we're giving you, or showing you where it is. Like we can signpost, and then like we want to welcome people and to give them more support, because in the time that it takes for a clip, like we could say if it take 2 months, just as an example.
Yeah.
In that 2 months, if you saw, there's community calls, there's I can go through the starter kit, I can go through an accelerator that happens every quarter. Like there's so much value available. It's just we're trying to find the best way to signpost it to people.
Yeah, it's finding your network and finding people in your circle that can help you and push your dream out there.
Absolutely, completely agree.
If you haven't pitched your dream to the doorbell, don't be afraid. Go and take that risk. Take that next step in your career, your dream, your job, your business, whatever it may be, and just go and do it, because you never know what's going to come out of it, as we are explaining.
I think that's it. Like you just don't know. Like I think if people. And it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to have personal objection. A lot of people come to the mobile doorbell because they want, I kind of explain it like a bank. You used to be able to call up, you still can, but I used to explain it like when you had a problem with your bank account, you used to be able to call someone up and have a conversation. With the mobile doorbell, whether it was the van or what we have now, you can have a physical conversation with someone. You can validate where they're at, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and you can almost like litmus test their idea or their business, and then you can give them the structure framework that we use, which is, and it's really simple. It's a dubbed down version of Daniel Priestley's model. So Daniel Priestley's model is, I can't remember 6 points now. A great one. Well done. No, but so I've dubbed it down. Who you are, what you do, why you do it, what do you need. And the biggest one is the need. A lot of people don't know what they need. 9 out of 10 people I've spoken to just look at me blank in the face. It's literally, and then I've had like half an hour, 45-minute conversations with people trying to get them to get to that point, and they're just not ready. And I'd rather give someone the feedback and not pitch, and use the information I've given them. And if I have to write them a 7-point plan of what to go and do next before you come and do this, I will.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not the right time to pitch. Sometimes sometimes they need more time. And if you're right at the beginning of an idea, you need to almost manipulate it a little bit. You need to test it. You need to.
Is it 60 seconds? You say.
60 seconds.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got to have it planned. But if you're nervous, that's okay because that means that you care.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. But me as an example, right? When I had Simon and his videographer Dudley filming me at the van, I was more afraid of taking my foot off the clutch and hitting Dudley,
Yeah.
And my leg was like a tambourine, and I was so nervous. And it's like, that's why in the clip that you only see like a really small segment of it, but I was so nervous.
Oh.
And there's so much more to that whole scene that we never saw the day of light. So I will try and find that and post it, because there's so many funny bits of that like, it's only like a 10-minute segment of the day because there was so much going on. But yeah,
Might go viral, that clip.
it
Just
could.
being open and honest about your journey.
Yeah, I think that's what what I'm trying to do this year is give people like what happened, why it happened, what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
Because I hope it gives someone advice and support. That's all I wanted to do, because there's so much that I learned that I wish I'd known a year ago, and I'm just now echoing what I learned then. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Heard you're getting rid of the van now, but you're still travelling. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a really weird period, and I still don't really know how to describe it, because so a lot of people don't know that I've had that van nearly 6 years.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Simon bought the van. He got the van resprayed and rewrapped, but the way it was framed the way it came across. Was that he bought the van. So that's actually been my identity for my 20s. Like Richard the van guy, and I'm like, yeah, that is me. It's, I don't know if it's like an identity piece, but it's a very weird period in terms of like letting go of the van, what's next, and so for the most part, I've been trying to navigate like that next piece. But the van is going. We're looking to sell it in the spring. It's currently having a respray, and then it's having another solar panel fitted, and then we're saying goodbye to it. I feel like it's the right time for it to go. We're still going to be travelling. There's some incredible opportunities like internationally coming up, which is kind of what's exciting me the most. It's that I love seeing new places, and I learn so much by being in new places. Like I spent a lot of my earlier 20s travelling as well, and so my ethos very much is I love travelling and helping people. Honestly, I don't mind which way that looks. It could be a van, it could be a plane, it could be a train. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a new chapter, and sometimes it's good to refresh and like new location, new ideas.
I think
It's quite nice to
totally.
go for something different.
Yeah.
Like, still the same, but
It's the same,
like
yeah.
different way of approaching it.
I still do the same thing though. That's what a lot of people don't see. So I still do I have the same not necessarily the same conversations because every person's different.
Yeah.
But I still have the same sort of framework that I follow with people. It's not like something I just what's the word? You kind of go into it and you're like, you just don't know. Every event I've ever been to last year, I've not had the same. I've always had different conversations. You meet someone new. I met this one guy who I'm doing some work with in the coming weeks, who runs a mental health brand up in Durham.
Okay.
He's building a mental health app for men, but it's more of a wider sort of focus niche. But his account's doing 12 million views a month, and but everyone's looking, he's following, and going, oh, he's not got a massive following. That doesn't matter.
Yeah,
The views, it's the views that matter. It's like you've hit a nerve somewhere, you're hitting a niche. That's what people care about.
Yeah.
And if you can, and so obviously there's messaging that people are resonating with. And you've touched, and what someone described to me is like when you touch a nerve, it's like if you touch that nerve deep enough, people will stay, watch, and either comment or share.
Yeah.
And if you can get them there to that point of like you just hit a personal sort of feeling, that's when you're on the money, and that's when you're like really sort of bridging a gap in a niche as well.
Yeah, you've got to be relatable, you've got to be helping someone, giving advice, or if someone can relate to something, they'll usually remember.
Exactly.
Makes sense, yeah.
Completely agree.
Were there any difficulties with running a van or living van life, or have you come across
So
any,
many.
any problems?
So many.
So many problems.
Oh my
no.
god, so many. The van. So part and parcel. It's an old girl. It's a 2009 Mercedes Sprinter long wheelbase. By all accounts, by the way, brilliant van. Like I've had a fantastic time with that van.
Yeah.
But over the 5-6 years, I wouldn't like to disclose how much I've spent on that van. To be fair, it's a lot of money. But it, when it's, I think of it like home. I think of like a story. In life, even if you have a home, you probably incur some form of cost at some point.
Yeah.
So these things happen. So I've kind of like brushed it off. It's just one of those things. Take the lessons, as they say.
Yeah.
If it wasn't location finding, if it wasn't, the van never. In fairness, I never stopped at the roadside and it didn't break down on me once.
Wow.
So that is
That's good.
That's a bonus.
That's good.
I've never been stuck at the roadside with that, ever. Not saying that I haven't noticed stuff going wrong with a van. I remember one time it being in the Peak District and my van was like shaking, and I was like, this is not right. And I got to this farm that we were staying at the time, and the prop shaft, so basically the main bit of the van was like, they said it was about 10 miles from a catastrophic failure, is what they described it as.
Right.
Yeah, £1,500 later. That was about 3 years ago. So yeah, there's been issues, but in more recent times, there was a couple of things that went wrong. Normal things as well, like wear and tear. So wheels, track rods, engine issues that we didn't know were engine issues until later on. Yeah, but it's done me well. Like it really has. And I'm one of these people that if something needs doing, just pay for it. But obviously it gets to a point where I've looked after that van from an inch of my life.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud to say that I've never broken down the roadside with that van.
I just had a thought of you breaking down like the M25 or something, and the people parking behind you to pitch their dream to the doorbell.
Do you know one thing we knew would make really good content that never happened?
What was that?
Traffic jam, right? Imagine a traffic jam
Yeah.
and you're stuck for 5 to 10 hours. What do? Get the doorbell out.
That'd be
Go
such a
down
good
the
video.
cars, right?
Yeah.
It's a great content idea. Like go down the cars. Like I'm taking this clip by the way and making it into a thing. But take the doorbell and just who's got a dream? It would
It would go so viral.
It would go so viral, wouldn't it? Like just take a doorbell and if you're stuck in a traffic jam, get out your car and just go down the street. Like and sometimes like sadly in this country we do have notoriously bad traffic jams sometimes, like road closures for 6 to 8 hours. Imagine if you're stuck for that many hours, you're just like, oh my god, just go and interview someone what their dream is.
Or like hand books through the car windows and stuff.
Right.
Like what Mr. Beast did on one of his videos, he's handing money through the car windows.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
there's
seen
a
this
clip.
one.
There's a clip of him, and he was just like, "Do you want 10,000?" And he just hand people just rolling down the windows, like, "What is going on?" He was just in the middle of the street. Like,
Surreal.
It went viral because like it's different.
But it's different. It's purple cow.
Purple cow.
Purple cow.
Purple cow.
There we go. We've got to make a traffic jam into a dream stop. And that's-
We've kind of covered this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it was from our audience. It's what advice would you give someone about how to make a pitch stand out and how should it be structured? We obviously said have what you need, but how can they make it really, really powerful? Do you know?
Pain, need,
Yeah.
and then I think the pain kind of fills into the purpose. But why are you doing this? Where does it come? Where does the idea or business stem from? Is it just is it because you've had such a traumatic experience last year, year before? The ones that stood out the most were the ones that there was pure purpose and passion behind it. If you're and you can tell normally in a pitch who's like, and so that's not always the case though. There are sometimes pitches that come through that not necessarily like they're nervous or they're shaky, and that's totally fine to be like that. But there's something in what they're saying that's like they just need help. They just need help, and like and in our work, like I'm compelled to try and help everyone, and I want to help everyone. And there's when if I don't know what they need, if I then pass that to say in an argument sense, right? You spoke to Simon. You tell Simon what you're building, and then I know that the first question you ask is, okay, what do you need?
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 people will freeze. I was one of those people. When he first asked me what your dream was,
Yeah.
I had no clue what I needed. I didn't, and this was July 2024 when we first filmed What's Your Dream, and I didn't know. And even then, when we actually launched in the April of 25,
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going for, in the sense that, was I looking for exposure? Was I looking for someone's, was I looking for sales? Was I looking for a brand to work with me? Was I looking to get 100,000 followers? I had a loose idea, but I sort of remained to my two cores, which are traveling and helping people. I just made that the main focus. Everything else was a second. So the why really informs the direction of the pitch, and that can come from pain.
Yeah.
That can come from someone else's pain, right? It can come from someone that said, like the example I gave earlier of Kate and her dad, right? Her dad, for most of his life has had an intolerance of some description,
Yeah.
and she's seen that's had an impact on him, so she's built this business out of that pain, right?
Yeah, it's really
And I think this, similarly to yourself, when you did the 30-day challenge for Simon,
Yeah.
what stood out was that you broke down what if you were to win 10 grand, you broke down to the penny
Yeah.
what it was going to be, and that
Yeah.
stands out. And I argue that's why your clip went so viral in the way it did, because you just were so clear. I've known other people to do this as well. We had I saw her last night at an event, Emma, down in Gosport.
Shout out to Emma.
Emma from Gosport. Embrace Serenity is her brand, and Emma, what Emma did was, to the penny, asked for a specific amount of money. It was just under £3,000. I never remember what it was. I think it was £2,962 22 pence or something like that.
Yeah.
She asked specifically to the penny, but it was built of a pain because she stepped back from her business because of she had some struggles personally, both mentally and at home. A young family. There was a lot of stuff going on that a lot of people didn't see, and so she took herself away from the business. She'd been in Simon's ecosystem for a good 4 years. She's like an early girl, like purposeful project. That's how early she goes in the Simon ecosystem, and she took taken herself away completely. But then she came back and pitched in Gosport when we were at a bakery opening, and she pitched the specific amount. She had Simon and Simon Sinek react to the clip, and then Simon Sinek says right at the end, "I think we should give her the money."
Yeah.
And then so Simon did. It was just like, it was, but that,
Wow.
again, really, really specific. And I try and tell people to ask for access, not funding.
Yes.
I think access will bring that. It's not because the access could be sales. It doesn't necessarily mean, I think access is critically more important, because that door might open 7 more doors. Of those 7 more doors, what are they going to be? Are they going to be 7 more different revenue streams? That's what, if I'm pitching for £3,000, but that 7 avenues will bring me 10,
Yeah.
I'll go for that.
Yeah.
That's the way I try and frame it now. So
No,
Yeah.
100%.
the pain, the clearer you can be on what you're trying to build, the better. Because it allows me to then justify what made me compelled to watch on. And it's the same with any content as well.
Yeah, I think my clip breaking down the money on my TikTok, I think it got around 20,000 views. Then I had one other clip from the 30-day challenge where I was shouting out a presenter, YouTuber, Lee Hinchcliffe, to come onto my YouTube show,
Yeah.
and it went viral. It got like 60,000. For me, 60,000 is a viral clip, but I'm still not 100% sure why. But it was maybe just luck of the draw. It might have just been because of the creator himself. But yeah.
I think sometimes as well with clips, you just never know. Like
Yeah.
it's and people say, oh, there's an algorithm, and if you do this thing
Yeah.
and you follow it to this number, this will happen. No, it doesn't work like that. I had a clip. So my old channel that had like 15k on it, Rich Does Van Life, but I don't use it anymore because it was niched so deeply in van life that trying to build it out in another niche using that channel was like, it was like, oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Just
I don't, yeah. It was, and I kept going because it's like no consistency. Keep posting every day. You know, you do those things that people tell you to do. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, there must be something. And I wish I just made another account. I just wish I'd just gone, binned it off. But I had one clip that went viral. It did 110,000 views. A guy called Jaden Jane, he was 15 years old at the time, footballer. And I said, if you pitch your idea now, I want to be a pro footballer, and we're outside Plymouth Argyle Stadium.
Yeah.
Brilliant clip. And so the backdrop is him, the Dream Machine, and then the stadium in the background.
Wow.
Brilliant backdrop.
Perfect.
Do you want to know why it went viral? What do you think it was?
I don't know.
Any
There
guess?
could be so many options. It could be.
It's
I don't know,
ridiculous.
tell me.
It's ridiculous.
Tell me.
Everyone was arguing in the comment section about his age. That's why it went viral.
So all the comments, people interacting, pushed it
Yeah.
out. That's fine.
So it's a great clip. I said to him, if you, and I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh, maybe Simon's posted another video about the van or something. So I got always 150 followers. And I had a message from Simon's brand director, and he said, oh mate, this is a great clip, well done. And I'm like, what? And I log on, I've got like all these reactions and new followers, and it's just this one clip of Jaden. And we actually went on to help him. We got a scout at a game that he was in Devon Cup final for under 16s. And we got Plymouth Argyle Scout to go down. But what was brilliant about the clip was that he was really specific on his need.
Yeah.
And we helped him. But most people thought he was 18. And I'm just there like, come off it. Like, is that really why this clip's gone viral?
Yeah.
And, you know, but I've done other clips like that for people where, you know, they just have, I'm battling against, you know, our algorithm. Like, and it's,
Yeah.
I had like a rant. I'm sure you've seen the rant, the famous rant of me. I'm walking down the street.
Oh, about London.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
walking from the office. Sorry, I'm walking from the tube station to the office. I recorded it in the time, and I just documented all my experiences that I'd had that morning in some way, shape, or form. And I just made it, and I showed it to our head of events when I got to the office. She said, "Oh, this is great. You should post it now." So I sat there and edited it up, posted it. So on Instagram it's on 700,000. And on TikTok it's on 500,000. Same video, no
Yeah.
difference, and it just.
That's so fun.
I know there's some science behind it and stuff. I get
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but sometimes it's like you're pushing a huge stone up a hill to try and get it to work. And you know, you can certain values that I take from social media content creation generally. And the only real metric you can control is consistency. It's truly.
Yeah.
And you know, and there's a saying from Alex Mosey: if you do so much output, it is unreasonable that you will not succeed. And it's I live by that rule really,
Yeah.
in terms of like if you just do the thing, and if you're posting 10 times a day, there is no reason why the algorithm will start to see, oh, this person's posting, this person, you know, and not just grid posts, reels, trialing different formats as well. I think testing is so important.
Yeah.
You've got to really. So a lot of my content at the moment seems a bit sporadic. There's no it's a kind of like a shotgun in terms of like the type of content. But I'm trying to see what works
Yeah.
because it's different for everyone.
I'm on a similar page as well. Like I'll post motivational stuff. I'll post stuff about my presenting. Obviously clips from shows. Yeah, just seeing what people enjoy watching.
I think people
From
blocks. Just these blocks. You've got your core block. That's what you focus on, and then you have an experimental block, and then you have almost like a I don't know what to call it. Something where you just like you mess around, do
Like a
different
trial.
things. Yeah. So I used to use a model called PVCC. So personal, valuable, credible, comedic. And it was actually a model I used for LinkedIn, but it's actually quite transferable to every other platform. Your personal and your valuable will always carry.
Yeah.
Your credible is like a Trustpilot review or something like a feedback from someone you've met. and your comedic is, just Jeremy every so often. One of our guys, our head of marketing.
Yeah.
He does a lot of LinkedIn content with memes, and they're great. I love watching them
Yeah.
because he's like he hooks me on the meme, and then I'm like, okay, what's the insightful bit of information, and it's brilliant. He's got a really good knack for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different for everyone. Everyone's got a different approach.
When did you start creating content?
About 4 years ago, but not like no. I tried starting my own. So I used to work on luxury boats. That was one of my earlier careers, and I started dabbling in content with a YouTube series. And I used to at this YouTube series called Too Long in Toulon. I used to live in Toulon in France, and I was in COVID, so I started a YouTube series then. And I started trying to get back into content, and I had massive imposter syndrome about content. Really struggled. What would people think of me? What would this? What would that?
Yeah.
I wish my biggest regret is not continuing the documentation, like actually building a YouTube series. And I've always wanted to be a creator for about 9 years. Inspired by the likes of the Sidemen. I've watched a lot of their earlier sort of I grew up on their GTA series basically.
Yeah.
Vanos Gaming, that was my era of people that I watched, and if you're an OG, you go back as early as Soviet Womble, like that's really early like gaming sort of YouTuber. That's what I used to be inspired by. And I think a lot of kids and even adults now, like YouTube's been around for 20 plus years now, and it's like a lot of people forget that that's like a long time. So yeah, I've always been inspired to be a creator, and then more recently, I think I started taking it more seriously after, it was about January 2023, maybe slightly later actually, for about 2024 actually, and then I started doing van life advice, what not to do, what to do, and I had I used to do a lot of grid posts, advice grid posts on van life, and they always did silly views. People liked it, but then why they went viral, people arguing in the comment section. Oh no, this is not the way it goes this way.
Some people post on purpose though, like they'll misspell something, or it'll be a meme just slightly different, just so people say this is not the original, and like.
Oh my god,
it's funny to watch though.
But did you goad it on a little bit? You just egg it on, like, because you know they're going to re-engage, right? Yeah. So it's like not in a spiteful way, but just give it a bit of flair. Like there was one guy that left a comment, and it was just really like rogue, and I just said, "But I got you to comment," and that comment has more likes than most. I just went, just play with it. They'll forget about it. That's the thing with content. I think a lot of people forget this. Like, if you post as consistent, like if you just post consistently, actually, life moves that quickly. Social media moves that quickly that you'll watch the clip, you might share it with your mate, and then you'll forget about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing. If you're worried about doing content, just do it, because a couple of people have opinions, but do you really want to care about the opinions of those people that they probably want to do it themselves, and they've probably got a bit of
bit of envy.
Yeah, it could be a number of feelings, but it's normally those people that are like, there's jealousy in it as well. There's all sorts of feelings, but I think the thing is just doing it, just getting out there.
I think a lot of people worry to post multiple times a day in case somebody's coming up on their feed, like they're being seen multiple times. But I don't see a problem with that, because, like you said, everyone's too busy in their own lives. No one's really focusing on what you're doing. If that makes sense.
Best bit of feedback I ever get is either I meet someone who at events and says, "Oh, you're that guy," or I've seen your content, and I'm like, "Good, you've seen my content." That's all. But it's feedback. It's like, okay, you're seeing it.
Yeah,
Good.
That's good.
That's the best.
It's getting the reach that it needs.
Correct. Yeah, and I think that's what people forget sometimes. Is that we were so focused on the small numbers. Like it's I had a clip the other day that I loved the post. It was off an experience that someone who I'm a good friend who I met on the road, and he really well put, like, it was sort of about dreams and how dreams are, maybe they should just be dreams. And I was like, I quite defeatist kind of like viewpoint. And I sat there and I said, I said to him, it's not, but you're looking at it wrong. It's just like, and I was trying to show it in a constructive way, not in a difficult way. I was trying to be a friend ultimately.
Yeah.
And I made it into a post, and it didn't perform as well. But it's probably one of my favourite group posts I've ever written. And sometimes it's just the way that the rock lies, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's different every time. But again, I can repost that in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You know.
Re-edit it, delete it, re-edit it, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just play with it. Like everyone. And I think the best bit is the right thing to be doing is building with creators who are also building.
Yes.
Because it's okay going to big creators and getting exposure and stuff like that, but is that the type of people that you want in your audience, or do you just want to build it yourself?
Mm.
So if you stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. Banger quote. I heard that the other
Is that
day.
your favourite quote?
At the moment, it is. Yeah.
That's actually a question I was going to ask you. So you're kind of.
I'm ahead of the game.
Ahead of the game. What's the biggest risk that you have taken in business, in life, with the van, with dreams, anything? Do you have a risk?
I had a few. Really thinking on this one. I think in recent times, like in the last few years,
Yeah.
one of the biggest risks I did take actually was I worked in telesales before I ended up doing this.
Yeah.
And my last job before this was telesales. So, but the gap is massive. So I quit my job in July 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't particularly enjoying my job in telesales. I think it's a great world if you want to learn sales and just build repetition, tenacity, and it's just a really important skill set to have. I think everyone should try telesales at some point in their life. But I just couldn't knack it, and I was doing all the things that they were telling me to do. And then what I realised, I was listening to some of the calls that some of the people were doing, I just wasn't really feeling it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna quit, because I thought I had a feeling that I was out. They were going to let me go anyway, and I've never been let go from a job. So this was like a make or break moment, and I just said, you know what? They already knew that stuff was already happening with Simon, and we were starting to make headway with that. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to quit. I'm just going to see myself out. And then it was nerve, right? Like leaving a secure job and just going at it and just trying to build your own thing. I have my hats off to anyone who does it. It's a really commendable thing. It really is, and I think it's because we're taught that, you know, have a safe, secure job. I don't think I actually now on the other side of the kilter. I think if I went back to that type of job, I'd be more worried doing that than doing this now. Like it's that's the way I believe it anyway. And when you see that, but I think some people have to be shown it. But I then didn't have any work. I had one bit of work in between the launch of the van, and I'd done 1,000 interviews between me quitting that job and starting the van.
Okay.
And good, but there was no opportunity. It was like it was a really hard moment. It was, and the biggest risk was, so Kirsty, my partner, because we got together during this period, and I remember I turned to her and said, "I've got a message from the brand director and for Simon," and I said, "I've just had this message. Do we go for it?
Yeah.
And just let's see what happens. There's no harm in trying. The job market's terrible. Can we risk 3 months of suffering, essentially, accruing a bit of debt to make this happen? And can we get through this moment?" And she said, we both agreed, yes, we can. And I just literally threw everything into it. I just made it happen. So from January 2025 to the launch, only thing I was obsessing with was the plan. Can we get brands on board? Can we get, I just fought for everything.
Yeah.
We've been given the green light, and it was essentially this opportunity of saying it's either now or never. That was probably the biggest recent risk. Yeah, yeah. But I'd gone 11 months without. I had one paycheck, which was from. I went to Spain with Zach Alsop to film Board and China Shop. That was a really small gig, but it was my first sort of insight into YouTube creation, and seeing how Zach does it and his editing team, really cool concepts. I love his content, and I love the way he approaches just making making stories for the grandkids, as he puts it. And that was the only bit of work I had. So, but I wouldn't, if I didn't quit my job, the way I look at it now, I wouldn't have been able to have the amazing summer that I had doing the things with like seeing the experiences.
Yeah.
Simon at the time, Simon was the one who introduced me to Zach, and so I wouldn't have been able to go away with Zach, film Ball and Char Shop, break down in Spain, have a whole experience in Spain, get flown back, go to Romania, go back to Spain. It was a really wild moment. Go pick up the van, go pick up a dog, bring the dog back from Spain. So all these experiences that I never would have had if I hadn't,
taking that risk.
Yeah, taking that risk. And then obviously it got really nervy in the early January of 25 and stuff like that. Big moments where I was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. And then you have to believe. You just have to keep pushing through. I'm so glad I did. So glad, because it's here now.
When you was at the work that you quit, did you have a realization moment of like, what am I doing here? Or was it more just, this is working, so I'm just going to try it out for a bit?
So the role I thought I was going into was a blend. I thought it was sales and recruitment,
Okay.
because I had a background in both. And I walked in, and I remember on day one, I was sat there, I was like, right, this is your job, it's telesales. And I was like, I've never done it, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm always somewhere, so I give this to my mum. She says, always give something 3 months. If it doesn't work out, let it go. Give it 3 months. If it doesn't work out, totally fine, you find something else. And I gave it 3 months. But then as I was meeting the team, spending more time with the team and the environment, and I realised it wasn't the right place for me. And nothing against, the best of it is that they were great people. They just weren't the right environment for the way I work, and that's totally fine. But it's better to acknowledge that earlier than waste everyone's time. And if you do, there are a lot of people that still work. There are a lot of people that still do, that have they have jobs. That's fine. But as long as you can admit, and I know it's hard now because there's not as many jobs available in the market at the moment. So as a result, it's kind of like you've got to really be,
really fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got to know if it's right for you, and you'll know. Most people know. You just got to listen to your gut a little bit with it.
So you said
Or a lot.
early 2025, you had a bit of a nervy
Wobble.
moment.
Proper
Was that?
wobble.
Would you say that was your lowest time, or have you had a lowest point of your journey? How did you bounce back from any low points you may have experienced?
That period was quite a
Shall I say 15 minutes so you know?
Oh,
That's all right.
cool. Very good. Okay, so low point. One of the lowest points was probably from about November 24 to February 25. Real mental low point, like proper. Didn't know the green from the trees. It was really tough. The reason it was tough was because we had no income. I hadn't got an income. Kirsty did, and we were fighting to just make stuff work. And the brutal thing was that I hadn't claimed against the state. I'd never taken universal credit or anything like that, and we were just surviving. And the only way I got really through it was there was 3 things that I did. It was get up, make the bed, walk the dog. They were the 3 things that got me. As long as I used to say to myself, if they do those 3 things, you start to get there. And then I started reading Simon's book, and similar time. It was around just after the launch, and I always refer to it when talking conversation, even when I spoke to Simon. There's a bit in the book where it talks about the hard things, and it's about important writing down a list of the hard things that you don't enjoy doing. And so I started doing. I put the book down and started doing actually taking the applications of what he talks about, and doing those hard things. And those hard things were van. It was like a long list of van stuff, and I just simultaneously, one by one, started solving those problems. And I've started to feel better as a result of problem solving, which allowed me to basically get to where we are now. But it was like a real moment of I just had to keep that vision of this will happen, this will happen. And as when we started getting more yeses, it was like a snowball effect. And then I was like, okay, we can actually make this happen. And I think there's an entrepreneurial mindset shift that everyone has to go on to make it happen. So when Simon presented the offer that he did to me when we were at the van, on the reveal day, I knew the mental journey that I'd been on, and I knew I couldn't give up on it because I'd known how much mental load it would put on me to achieve it. And a lot of it that nobody really knows. I haven't really spoken about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
I mean, look at you now, achieving incredible things.
It's been a wild year
Wild
and a
journey.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even a year actually. Like since we launched, it's not even been a year. It's been 10 months.
That's
Mental.
so exciting.
Mental.
So many exciting things to come for you.
I think so.
So, we've got, what inspires you to do what you do, and why do you think it's important that we tell our audience to go and chase what matters to them? Like, what's your main, like, current drive for what you're
I go out and help every day because I know there was a moment in my life where I didn't get the help. And this is not relevant to like the last few years, but there's previous moments where prior to that where it was like where it was financially or like or where I've been really struggling and there's no one to really go to, and I didn't have an outlet or something like that. So I think I've seen the other side. I think the importance of going out and pursuing your dream is that it gives you almost a North Star. It gives you something to focus on. It gives you something to. I'm not saying drop everything and go and do it. I believe that there's a playbook to making it happen. I think there's a series of steps, and it's about understanding what you love doing. I think first and foremost, if you're going to pursue your dream, you're going to go for it big. Please write down what it is you love doing and why you love doing those things. I used to have 5 that I still abide by in some respect, but some of them I haven't done in a long time. So helping people, travelling, gaming, snowboarding, and I never remember the last one. I think van life was the last one, but kind of van life I don't really do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
But the other 2 I've not really been able to do for like 3-4 years because gaming it takes so much of your bandwidth generally. I love doing it, but I just don't have the time. It was just too busy.
Yeah.
And then with snowboarding, it's an expensive hobby. It's not to go. It's like you're paying £1,000 per trip for 5 days. It's not exactly a treat. It's not cheap or quick. But I think the real importance of going out there and pursuing it is to give you something to work towards that you're going to be proud of yourself. And if you go for it, just see where it takes you. Like, because there's nothing. The worst that happens is you go back to the job that you didn't enjoy, or when you go back to the job that you did enjoy. Like, the risk is either you make it or there's a lesson. It's not a bad thing, but the lessons were probably more valuable than just sticking out where you are and not doing it.
Yeah, this sort of links into my next question. Every guest that I have on my show, I give them a 10-second challenge.
Okay.
So for my first guest, I gave him a 10-second challenge to pitch his new song. For my second guest, I gave him a 10-second challenge to go and pre-order his new cookbook. For you, obviously, you have the dream machine with the dreams. So I'm going to say you have 10 seconds to inspire this audience to go and pitch their dream to the doorbell. Give them advice. Go.
If you do it, I'll come and meet you to have a conversation about it, why you want to do it, and what do you need to make it happen. Because if we can help you, we will. I'm now probably committed myself to. If you have like 10, if you have like, depending on how many people actually go and do it, and then I was that, I could have committed myself to like 100 conversations. I just don't know, but I was like, I'll come and have a conversation with you. I'm gonna have Google Meets for the next month at least doing that. It's fine, we'll make it happen. But yeah.
Do you have someone that you look up to? Or inspires you? It could be in the creative space, it could be in real life as well, like parents or partner.
Someone who's been in my life a lot recent, like, there's a few. My partner especially, like she wouldn't be here without. That's a fact. For Kirsty, like listening
Shout out to you, Kirsty.
Kirsty, like she knows this, but I don't say it enough. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this. That's the truth. I would not be sat here having this conversation with you, having them on the live, which wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's just the the small structure. It didn't like the light load structure worked really well for me. If it was just heavy pressure, get stuff, get up, do it. She knew she couldn't do that with me, especially when I was in my lower points. But she was calm, she was collected, she understood, and that's all I needed. I just needed someone to understand where I was at, and that's why we're so successful together as just a couple, because she understands me very well. And I think if you can find someone like that who understands you very well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a partner, it could be a best mate, it could be a mum, could be could be a nan, could be anyone, but confiding them, but they will understand you in a way that most people don't. And if you can find those people, you'll be fine, honestly. So yeah, shout out Kirsty.
Shout out to you, Kirsty, you're amazing. It's actually Kirsty was the one that messaged me about the winning the Science Group Challenge, and I was like, where have you seen this? And she's like, oh, on the email. I was like, what? I was like shaking, what's going on?
Kirsty is someone that also is a hidden asset in Help Bank and the Simon ecosystem. The amount of stuff she does that even I don't know, talking to people.
Yeah.
She talks to people on behalf of me because I haven't, people will message Kirsty because I haven't necessarily responded to something, which I'm renowned for putting my hand up. I know I'm some days not great, is that it? However, I know that what we're trying to build is she sits there, she responds, she tells people, just that. I actually didn't know that. I didn't realise it was Kirsty.
She sent me a congratulations DM, and it just said that Ruby Tube is the winner, and I was thinking, what's going on here? I'm really confused. I was eating my dinner. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, where is this? On the email, have you not seen it? I was like, no. It was really fun though. It was a fun moment. She actually has asked us a question on one of our videos.
Yeah, go on.
What's been your most memorable moment from 2025? What's her question on? I can't remember if it's your video or my video. One of our social media videos.
I'm thinking more recently, so that's it. When we were in, it was when we were.
It can be this year if you want.
There was a moment. We're in Florida actually. We were on holiday in Florida. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I've actually got this on today. It's actually a Star Wars jersey.
Nice.
There was a moment where we walked into to do this ride, and you go into basically the Star Wars universe, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called it's the First Order ride, and you walk in and there's just a sea of stormtroopers. And I just felt like I went back to where I was a kid watching Star Wars for the first time. Real amazing moment. And then there's a moment where you get to fly the Millennium Falcon. Really, it just felt like I was a kid again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually, I'm not plugging Disney here, but it really is an incredible place. So yeah, big moment. It was one of the only times last year we really stopped. I say stopped. Disney's not a stopping trip. You'll go, but it's a place where a lot of I kind of went back to being a kid, and I don't really get to do that often.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Right, what are you hoping to achieve this year and in the upcoming next 5 years? Where would you like to be? Even if you don't know.
I feel like we should double this up, really, shouldn't we? So we helped
Yeah.
over 1,500 people last year. I would like to help 3,000 people this year, and the help is very undefined in some
Yeah.
respects. It's help starting a business,
Yeah.
It's help having a conversation. I think we should. I would really like to help more people than we did last year. I try not to put a number on it because I can never really gauge as the year goes on. More of these type of conversations. I would want to be able to spread not just the word about what we did in the road, but the work that we are doing with Simon, with Help Bank, with the whole mission. It's so important, and if we don't do it, someone else. So who else will? Because we really can change lives in very small, impactful ways over a duration of time. Sometimes we can do it infinitely quicker. It just depends. It really, really does depend. And I think I put a really bold goal I would love to. I don't know why I've always had this image of 100,000 followers, and I've said in the next 2 years I would like to get 100,000, hit that number. I don't know why, it's just a number in my head, but I have this belief that the more people we can impact, the snowball effect of them helping more people, and it acts as a catalyst for more good.
What about YouTube? Is YouTube a platform that you'd like to build as well?
Yeah, so YouTube's a big one for me this year.
Yeah,
I don't really know how I'm going to do it. I've started doing YouTube reels, shorts,
Yeah.
as they're called. I've been consistently doing it every day. We do naturally normally, it does quite well. I'm surprised at how well my YouTube shorts do. They normally do better than most of my other platforms, which
Well,
is
that is positive.
yeah, positive. So I'm onto something, and I'm just trying to build on that sort of. And it's not necessarily. I think subscribers are really valuable on YouTube.
Yeah.
More probably the most valuable in terms of when you think of ecosystems of followers. I think YouTube is a gold standard for retention. So yeah, that would be an aim. Obviously, I had to restart a lot, so I'm kind of going back to basics a little bit, rebuild from the ground up, and trying to really find that focus frame of where do I want to focus the content. I love what I do now, but I want to really give people more of a space to talk. So stuff like this is something that I really want to, and not just me. I want to be on that side. I want to be
Yeah.
interviewing people I've met on the road, or
Yeah.
people like yourself, like to know your story more. Like why you want to be a kids TV presenter? What is it that you've seen growing up that's sparked you, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, if you do a podcast, I will happily come
absolutely,
on. 100%.
that's a goal for the year. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
love it.
Well,
I've got one minute.
okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Rich, for coming on.
No, thank
It's
you.
been a
for having me.
pleasure to have you.
No, thank you so much. I feel like we could have spoken an hour.
I feel like we could have. Yeah.
Easily. There was so much we didn't get to cover, but no, I appreciate you having me on. It's been amazing.
It's been an honour. If people haven't seen your content, where can they find you on social media to give you a follow your journey?
Of course, you can follow me on @RealRichHayes. That's on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Facebook. I can't remember all the six. I'm in the six. LinkedIn is Rich Hayes as well, for those who use that most. So if you want to find me, check me out.
Go give him a follow and subscribe. Let's support his journey and leave comments in the comment section that you've come from this YouTube video so that I can see my audience going across. That would be really cool.
Love
Awesome.
it. Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Unscripted. Stay tuned and hit subscribe for my next episode. See you then.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Awesome.
Boom.
Hold on. Yay! Yay!
Woo! Should we get a photo together
We
very
should,
quickly?
We should.
Well, how was that for you?
It's great. We could have
That's
spoken for ages, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Hey, we can do another one. I'm not opposed to it.
That's so good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Everyone's just saying like they're loving it and stuff.
Thank you, guys, everyone, for joining.
Yay! See you all in my next live stream, guys. I've got my next show on the 3rd of March, so I will see you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.